Howdy folks, with the recent conclusion of the 10-year celebration in the wacky world of MultimediaJay's latest season, the Chillin' at Jay's Geek House series is going to pick up the slack for any remaining technical curiosities I have during the interim period until Beyond 10 Years starts up later on. The format will be simpler and more low-key, so to speak, but that's pretty much what this series is all about. So I picked up another set of Logitech Z200s, and this time I'm going to show you what I was talking about with these things. So earlier on, with the last pair of these things, whose box is over there waiting to be thrown out, by the way, I mentioned that there's nothing that covers the cones on these things, which I'm not a big fan of. It's not a very good design, and quite frankly, I think it's made to break. So we're going to bust the seal on this, grab the old putty knife, well, not so old putty knife, it's actually pretty new, and let's just bust the seal on this here. I want to show you just how easy it is to potentially pierce a cone as you take these out of the box for the first time. So you open these up, you have some instructions showing up on how to use them. However, if you're in too much of a rush, you get to this stage, and you see there's the exposed cones right here. Now you see, oh, I got brand new speakers, I got brand new speakers, I got brand new speakers. What do you want to do? You want to grab them, and pull them out. But while you're doing that, you may accidentally push too far or too hard on the cones. So if you really claw grip these things, you run the risk of damaging cones because nothing's covering them up. Plus, they're connected. The whole thing has to come out at once. But if you can follow directions, there's a 1 and 2 type thing. This cannot be done with one hand, so we're going to let gravity do some of the work for us. Now, this is really the only real way to get these out of the box, is to let gravity do the work for you. Because if you try and rip these things out, you run the risk of hitting the cones and possibly piercing a surround, which is not good. I'm not a very big fan of these things. However, the 1 watt full blast power draw made me legitimately curious about whether or not I could have these things work without piercing a cone or something, even though the cones are exposed. Now the thing with these is that I'm not going to be like, oh, Three Stooges poke to those things. But what I am concerned about is maybe if I'm asleep and just randomly moving in my sleep or something, damaging them that way. So here's the idea. We'll see how they last, and if by chance they break, then I would like to unsolder the amp board in this thing, since it's very efficient, and then remount it inside a more standardized speaker case. Now these are on sale right now around the $20 mark at various places. So I imagine it won't be too big of a deal if something breaks. 10 watts audio power, and only draws 1 watt max from the wall when turned up all the way. I'm already using these with the TV as a replacement for the tinny TV speakers, and now I'm going to try them with the bedroom setup. I know it's splitting hairs to go from 5 watt speakers down to 1 watt speakers as far as power draw is concerned, but I'm legitimately curious. And if I can make these work without piercing a cone, cool. But if I do happen to damage these by hook or by crook or by whatever, spill a drink in them or something, I'd like to pull the amp board out of these things and then mount them in a more standard box with similar speakers with similar values and see how much I can hack job these things. But for now, we'll use them as they are. So if by wild chance my stepmother sees this, who used to be like, you can't leave anything alone, you always gotta tinker with stuff, why can't you just use it the way it is? Well, guess what? I'm gonna use these the way that they are. And let's see what kind of an experience this is. MultimediaJay out.